through. I just want you to listen to them. And you can close your eyes maybe as we read through the Beatitudes. And this is just the first thing he says. First thing he says is going, this is the content, this is the character of my kingdom. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those after this long waiting realize just how spiritually empty they are. That's the beginning. The beginning is realizing how spiritually needy you are. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way you persecuted the prophets who were before you. And as Jesus is saying this, Jesus is saying these things. Remember, Jesus, who is speaking with authority, with power, speaking absolute truth, and that's coming across, is that Jesus is the absolute embodiment of the character of his kingdom. You know, I think, how is Jesus a perfect embodiment of poverty of spirit? Well, in Philippians 2, we learn that Jesus, being in very nature God, didn't consider equality with God something to be grasped, but he made himself nothing. Literally, because it's empty himself. Meaning Jesus experienced poverty of spirit. Meaning Jesus mourned. Jesus was meek. Jesus hungered and thirsted after righteousness. Jesus was merciful. Jesus was a peacemaker. So as he is expressing the character of the kingdom, he is also in that giving an invitation to follow him. To follow him who is the perfect embodiment. And that is the launching pad as he dives into the law. Because all preparation up to this point has been the law. The law of Moses. That they tried with all their might at times to fulfill, and other times just completely abandoned it. And the law and Jesus' dealings with the law is what has made the content of the Sermon on the Mount considered by many some of Jesus' most controversial and challenging words. Because kind of what we want him to do and what we want him to say about the law, he doesn't. We kind of want him just to, like Moses, about just break the law and be like, don't worry, it's a party, you know? And he doesn't do that. Instead, this is what he says. And we're going to start in verse 17. Jesus, following the character of the kingdom, him being the perfect embodiment, now, you know, in people's minds is, what do we do with the law? The law that has for so long almost just been this presence of condemnation because we can't do it. And Jesus said, do not think that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish them, but to fulfill them. The word fulfillment is really, really, really important. To be fulfilled. If you think what this means for us personally, think what this means for the law. That what the law was in its mortal condemnation of us. Jesus is saying, don't think for an instant that the smallest letter or the least stroke is going to disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. It says in verse 19, therefore anyone who sets aside one of the least of these commands and teaches others accordingly will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And going on to verse 20, he says, for I tell you that unless your righteousness, which is unless your living out the law surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. And the Pharisees were known for trying their hardest, doing their best, actually creating structures around the law to try to keep it. And then he goes, you know, you thought it was hard and you thought the Pharisees made it hard. It is actually harder. This is good news. And this is what makes it challenging. This is what makes, oftentimes, what we talk about as Christian or Christianity kind of a far cry, because a lot of a lot of Christians view the Old Testament as just like severed. It's gone. It's behind us now. Praise be to Jesus. He just broke the law. No, Jesus did not break the law. He fulfilled the law. And he actually goes on to say, let me tell you about a righteousness that surpasses that of the Pharisees. Let me tell you about a law that is higher, that couldn't even be written out in the words because it's so detailed. And it goes beyond what you see to how you feel and what you want and what you desire. That's what we're going to talk about when we talk about the law. Jesus goes, and it far surpasses anything that's been written before. And so he goes on to compare 6 things, and he says, as you've heard it said, you've heard it, it's been written, but I'm going to tell you something else. And he goes, this is something else isn't new. It's an explanation of the nitty-gritty of what you always had heard. So oftentimes we're like, what do we do with this? Well, I want you to hear, Jesus is making the law just as hard as it always was and explaining there's no way around this. He says, you've heard it said that the people long ago, you shall not murder. Anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, Raka, is answerable to the court. Anyone who says, you fool, be danger in the fires of hell. So what he's saying is, he goes, all you that feel okay because you haven't murdered somebody, he goes, you know what? If you gossip, if you called someone a nerd, if you were malicious, if something came out of your mouth that was mean, he goes, any of those things is just as bad. He goes, the Pharisees, they're proud of themselves because they didn't murder anyone, but they are terrible in the way they speak about people. It's terrible. And he goes, that fear the Lord because of that. Going on, he says, therefore, if any of you offering a gift at the altar, and remember your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them. Come and then offer your gift. And we hear this in the Old Testament also. I think of Psalm 51 where David's going on like, God, you don't need more bulls to be sacrificed on the altar. That's not what you desire. You desire a contrite heart. So this isn't new stuff Jesus is saying. Jesus is going, man, you've tried to create ways around it. You've tried lowering the bar, thinking that maybe when the Messiah comes, he'll just get rid of the bar altogether so you can just step over. He goes, it is way higher than you ever thought it was. Settle the matter quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you're still together on your way. Or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you would be thrown into prison. Going on to the next verse. It says, truly I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. You've heard it said, you shall not commit adultery, but I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And I wondered, even with that, there's this scene in the Gospels where it's John 8, where a woman caught in adultery is brought before Jesus, and they say, what will you do with this woman? And it's this kind of cryptic part where Jesus bends down, he writes in the sand, and everyone leaves. And because Jesus gets it, he says, whoever is without sin, throw the first stone. And that's essentially what he's saying here. And I wondered if what Jesus was writing in the sand essentially was a part of the Sermon on the Mount. If you looked at a woman lustfully, you committed adultery. And who knows what he was writing in that? But what he's saying is, man, we're so ready to create this field of outsiders, and so we feel like maybe we belong. But through every single one of these things, that the Pharisees, or those who tried to uphold parts of the law, the parts that they could, they've tried to create a group that feels okay. Feels so okay that maybe we don't even need the Messiah to show up, right? And this group of outsiders that will just never make it. And just let me show you what holiness is. And when the Old Testament, he says, be holy as the Lord your God is holy, how no one's meeting that standard. So he goes on, if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality makes her the victim of adultery. And anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it is said to people long ago, do not break an oath, but fulfill to the Lord the vows you have made. But I tell you, do not swear an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, or by earth, for it is God's footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. You've heard it said, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, but I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. And if anyone wants you to sue you and to take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2. Give to the one who asks, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. You have heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemies. But I tell you, and even as I read these, and you might feel this, as we read these, there's kind of a growing desperation, like, you start with poor in spirit, and then you get here and you're like, oh man, just stop. Like, I don't think I can take any more. There's too much. It's too much. It's too perfect, right? I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that they may be children of the Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on evil and the good, sends rain on the righteous and unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even the pagans do that. And in the summary of all these things that he has said, in the same way in the law of the Lord, in the Pentateuch, that we get in the Old Testament, it says, be holy as the Lord your God is holy. It wraps it up by saying, so be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. And what Jesus is saying is, this is what it means to fulfill the law. When Jesus